Every great journey begins with a single step, and every extraordinary life is built on small, often overlooked choices we make every day. Imagine waking up one morning and realizing your life has changed, not because of a big dramatic event, but because of the small, consistent actions you chose to take day after day. What if I told you that the difference between an average life and an extraordinary one is not luck, wealth, or opportunities, but the simple habits you commit to in the quiet moments when no one is watching? Today, we are going to explore 10 small habits that, if embraced faithfully, will change your life forever. And I promise you, these are not just suggestions. They are seeds of transformation waiting for your dedication to nurture them. The first habit is waking up early. It might sound too simple, almost trivial, but there is a sacred power in the early hours of the day, when the world is still asleep, when the noise of obligations hasn't yet descended upon your mind. You are given a gift, a pocket of uninterrupted time to focus, to plan, to dream. Successful people across the globe share one secret: they own their mornings. When you rise before the world, you set the tone for the entire day. Imagine greeting the dawn with intention, reading an inspiring passage, praying, meditating, or simply setting your goals clearly before the day begins. Each morning becomes an anchor, a foundation that quietly shapes your actions and your mindset. Waking up early is not just about getting more hours. It is about stepping into control over your life rather than reacting to it. There is something profoundly transformative about the early hours of the morning. It is in this quiet, still, and almost sacred space before the world stirs that life-changing habits are born. Waking up early is not just a practice. It is a declaration. It is saying, I will take control of my day before the day takes control of me. So many people drift through life reacting to circumstances, responding to urgent demands, and constantly feeling behind. Yet those who wake up early consistently are the ones who begin the day on their own terms, and this simple habit becomes a foundation for extraordinary living. The power of owning your mornings lies not just in having more time. It lies in having intentional, uninterrupted time that belongs solely to you, a time when clarity, creativity, and focus are naturally heightened. When the world is still asleep, there is a calmness that cannot be found at any other time. In those quiet hours, distractions are minimal. Social media notifications, phone calls, and emails have not yet invaded your mind. You are gifted with the rare opportunity to think, to plan, and to dream without interruption. It is during these moments that some of the most successful people in history have forged their greatest ideas. The early hours give you a psychological advantage because you are free from the noise of the day. You can begin your morning with purpose rather than reacting to chaos. You can meditate on your goals, visualize the life you want, and set intentions that guide every action. This practice, repeated daily, compounds into a rhythm of discipline that shapes character, builds resilience, and establishes a mindset of success. Waking up early also allows you to embrace solitude. In a world that constantly demands attention, solitude is a rare treasure. Solitude provides space for introspection, for listening to your inner voice, for connecting with your faith, and for understanding your priorities. When you rise early, you gift yourself moments of clarity. You can journal your thoughts, write down your goals, or simply reflect on life. This reflective practice enables you to see what truly matters, to identify areas for growth, and to mentally prepare for the challenges ahead. The early morning is not merely a block of time. It is a sanctuary for cultivating inner strength and purpose. Those who rise early often carry a sense of calm and centeredness into the day, even when external circumstances are unpredictable. Another critical aspect of owning your mornings is the opportunity to build momentum. The first actions you take in the morning set the tone for the rest of your day. When you start with intentionality, by exercising, reading, praying, or planning, you create a ripple effect that carries through every interaction and decision. Completing even small tasks in the morning, like making your bed or writing a to-do list, builds a sense of accomplishment. This feeling of early victory instills confidence and motivation, giving you the energy to tackle larger goals. Momentum is contagious. Once you begin the day with purpose, the entire day unfolds differently. Challenges seem more manageable, focus sharpens, and productivity naturally increases. It is also important to recognize the spiritual dimension of early rising. Many religious and spiritual traditions encourage dedicating the first hours of the day to prayer, meditation, or reflection. The quiet morning provides a space to connect with something greater than yourself, to align your intentions with your values, and to seek guidance for the decisions ahead. This connection fosters peace, strengthens faith, and builds resilience. When you prioritize these moments, you are reminded daily that life is not merely about survival or routine, but about living with intention, purpose, and alignment with your deepest beliefs. The habit of rising early becomes not only a tool for productivity, but also a spiritual practice that nourishes your soul. Of course, the idea of waking up early is easier said than done. Our modern world encourages late nights and distractions that make early rising a challenge. Yet, transformation begins with choice. You cannot wait for perfect conditions. You must choose to prioritize this habit consistently. It may require discipline at first, going to bed earlier, resisting late night entertainment, and committing to a schedule. But the rewards are immense. The first few weeks may feel difficult, but persistence turns effort into routine, and soon waking up early becomes natural. You begin to notice how your energy improves, how your focus sharpens, and how your entire perspective on life shifts. It is not just about gaining time, it is about gaining mastery over your life. There is also an element of self-respect and empowerment that comes from owning your mornings. When you choose to rise early, you declare to yourself that your goals, your growth, and your vision are worth the sacrifice. You take control over your life in a very tangible way. No one else can do this for you. The world will not wait. It will not slow down to accommodate your dreams. By taking these quiet hours for yourself, you set a precedent for the kind of life you are willing to create. You cultivate habits that influence your career, your relationships, your health, and your mindset. The discipline you practice in the early hours carries through every other aspect of life, creating a framework for success that is difficult to shake. In the end, the habit of waking up early is more than a simple routine. It is a declaration of intention, a commitment to growth, and a tool for transformation. It allows you to start each day with clarity, focus, and purpose, while also creating space for reflection, spiritual connection, and personal development. It turns ordinary days into extraordinary opportunities. It teaches discipline, builds momentum, and instills confidence. Those who embrace the power of early mornings do not just gain hours, they gain mastery over their lives. Every great life begins with small, deliberate actions, and owning your mornings is the first step toward creating the life you have always envisioned. Rise early, claim your time, and let the quiet hours of the morning set the stage for a life of purpose, impact, and fulfillment. The world may still be asleep, but your life is waking up, and that is where true transformation begins. Gratitude is a force more powerful than most people realize. It has the ability to transform the way we perceive our lives, the way we interact with others, and the very energy that we carry into each moment. Many of us go through life focusing on what we lack, comparing ourselves to others, and measuring our success by what is missing rather than what is present. Yet, the simple habit of practicing gratitude daily shifts our perspective entirely. It trains our minds to notice abundance instead of scarcity, beauty instead of brokenness, and opportunities instead of obstacles. Gratitude is not just a feeling, it is a discipline, a deliberate choice to recognize and celebrate the good, even when life feels challenging. It is a habit that rewires our minds, shapes our emotions, and ultimately transforms our lives in ways that are both subtle and profound. The power of gratitude begins with awareness. It is about consciously acknowledging the blessings in your life, even the smallest ones. The sunlight streaming through your window, the cup of coffee warming your hands, the laughter of a loved one. These may seem ordinary, but when noticed and appreciated, they become extraordinary. Daily gratitude is the act of pausing, even for a few moments, to reflect on what you have rather than what you lack. When you focus on blessings rather than problems, your mind naturally shifts from negativity to positivity. This shift may feel small at first, almost imperceptible, but over time it compounds into a profound change in how you experience life. Your perception becomes a lens of abundance rather than limitation, and suddenly challenges seem less daunting. Relationships feel richer, and joy becomes accessible in ways you never imagined. Practicing gratitude daily also strengthens your emotional resilience. Life will always have difficulties, disappointments, and setbacks, But when gratitude becomes a habit, it acts as a buffer against despair. It reminds you that even in the midst of trials, there are still reasons to hope, moments to appreciate, and victories to celebrate. Gratitude does not erase problems, but it gives you the strength to face them with courage and a clear mind. It prevents bitterness from taking root and nurtures a sense of contentment that carries through even the toughest days. By choosing gratitude, you refuse to be consumed by negativity and instead focus on the positive forces that surround you, creating a mindset that attracts more goodness into your life. One of the most effective ways to practice gratitude is to write it down. Journaling 3 things you are grateful for each day may seem simple, but it is remarkably powerful. Writing forces you to slow down, to consciously reflect, and to articulate what you appreciate. Over time, you begin to notice patterns of blessings that were previously invisible to you. You begin to recognize that even in ordinary days, life is filled with extraordinary gifts. Gratitude journaling also creates a tangible record of abundance, a personal archive of positivity you can return to whenever you need encouragement, reminding you of how far you have come and how much you have to be thankful for. Gratitude is also deeply connected to our relationships. When you cultivate a habit of appreciation, you naturally begin to express it toward others. Simple words of thanks, gestures of recognition, or acts of kindness strengthen bonds, deepen connections, and build trust. People are drawn to those who notice and acknowledge them, and gratitude becomes a bridge that connects hearts. By practicing daily gratitude, you not only transform your inner life, but also radiate positivity that affects everyone around you. Your words, your actions, and your energy begin to inspire and uplift others, creating a cycle of goodness that returns to you in unexpected ways. Another powerful aspect of gratitude is its spiritual dimension. Gratitude aligns the heart with a sense of purpose and meaning. It reminds us that life is a gift and that we are not alone in our journey. When you intentionally practice gratitude, you acknowledge the sources of your blessings, family, friends, experiences, opportunities, and even challenges that taught you lessons. This acknowledgement fosters humility, strengthens faith, and cultivates a sense of inner peace. Gratitude allows you to see life not as a series of random events, but as a meaningful journey in which each moment, each encounter, and each challenge has value. It turns everyday experiences into sacred opportunities to celebrate and learn. Practicing gratitude daily is also a habit of mental discipline. In a world full of distractions, complaints, and constant comparisons, it takes deliberate effort to focus on what is good. But the more you train your mind to notice blessings, the easier it becomes. Gratitude becomes automatic, a lens through which you naturally view your life. It rewires your brain to focus on abundance rather than deficiency, creating a mental environment that fosters optimism, creativity, and motivation. The habit of gratitude doesn't just make you feel better temporarily, it reshapes your thinking, your decisions, and your overall outlook on life. Importantly, gratitude transforms ordinary life into extraordinary living. When you appreciate what you have, each day is enriched with meaning and joy. Simple routines become celebrations, ordinary moments become memorable, and the world around you feels fuller and more vibrant. Gratitude turns your attention to the present, to the beauty and blessings that are already part of your life, rather than chasing what is missing in the future. It grounds you, centers you, and creates a sense of fulfillment that cannot be shaken by circumstance. The power of this habit lies in its consistency. It is not about feeling grateful once in a while or when things go perfectly. It is about making gratitude a daily practice, a discipline that shapes your heart and mind. Each day you commit to gratitude, you strengthen a force that transforms your perspective, your relationships, your faith, and your resilience. Over weeks and months, this daily habit compounds into a life that feels abundant, meaningful, and empowered. The small act of recognizing and appreciating blessings becomes the foundation for joy, purpose, and a deeper connection to life. So start today. Choose to see, to notice, and to celebrate the blessings in your life. Write them down. Speak them aloud. Share them with others. Let gratitude guide your thoughts, your words, and your actions. It is the habit that will change not just your day, but your life. It is a small practice with enormous impact, a quiet discipline that grows into unstoppable transformation. When you embrace daily gratitude, you are not just counting blessings. You are creating a life full of them. You are choosing to live with abundance, joy, and intentionality. You are choosing a life that is truly remarkable. Your mind is the most powerful tool you possess, and yet it is often the most neglected. What you allow into your mind, what you read, watch, listen to, and dwell upon shapes not only your thoughts, but also your actions, your decisions, and ultimately the life you create. The daily habit of feeding your mind with knowledge, inspiration, and wisdom is not optional for those who want to live fully. It is essential. Every thought, every idea, every perspective you expose yourself to becomes a building block for your character, your mindset, and your destiny. The mind is like fertile soil. If you plant seeds of negativity, doubt, and fear, that is what will grow. But if you consistently nurture it with truth, learning, and positivity, your life blossoms in ways that are both profound and lasting. Feeding your mind daily is a small habit that compounds into extraordinary transformation over time. Imagine waking up each morning and deciding that you will take deliberate steps to grow mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. Even 15 minutes a day of reading something enriching or listening to an uplifting lesson can have more impact than hours of mindless scrolling, negative media, or toxic conversations. Knowledge empowers you. Exposure to new ideas broadens your perspective, challenges your assumptions, and inspires creativity. It trains your mind to think critically, to problem solve effectively, and to imagine possibilities beyond your current reality. The more you feed your mind intentionally, the stronger and sharper it becomes. You begin to notice opportunities others miss, make decisions with clarity, and approach challenges with confidence because your mind has been trained to see solutions rather than obstacles. Feeding your mind is also an act of self-respect. Choosing to learn and grow daily communicates to yourself that your life matters, that your potential is worth investing in, and that you are committed to becoming the best version of yourself. It is easy to fall into the habit of distraction, of letting your mind absorb whatever is convenient, entertaining, or easy. But when you take the discipline to feed it with something meaningful, you are building an internal foundation that cannot be shaken by external circumstances. Education, inspiration, and knowledge are shields against doubt, fear, and negativity. They equip you with the tools to navigate life with wisdom, to influence others positively, and to step into your purpose with authority. The mind thrives on consistency. Feeding it once in a while creates temporary awareness, but feeding it daily establishes a pattern of growth that becomes unstoppable. Consider the small choices you make every day: reading a chapter from a book, listening to an insightful podcast, reflecting on a teaching, or studying a skill. Each day, the effects may seem subtle, almost invisible, but over weeks and months, they accumulate into deep knowledge, sharpened judgment, and a mindset that is prepared for opportunity. Consistency transforms learning from a task into a lifestyle. The small daily investment of time in your mind compounds into enormous returns in every area of your life: relationships, career, creativity, and spiritual understanding. Feeding your mind daily also protects you from negative influences. Just as a plant surrounded by weeds struggles to grow, a mind exposed primarily to fear, gossip, and negativity becomes stunted. The media, conversations, and environments we immerse ourselves in shape our beliefs, attitudes, and emotional health. By intentionally choosing to feed your mind with positive, enriching content, you create a mental environment where growth, optimism, and purpose can flourish. You become resilient to discouragement, less reactive to chaos, and more confident in your decisions because your inner landscape is filled with strength, clarity, and insight. The habit of feeding your mind is not limited to reading or studying alone. It includes reflection, observation, and contemplation. Taking time to think critically, asking questions, seeking understanding, and analyzing experiences enriches the mind in ways that passive consumption cannot. Reflection allows you to integrate what you learn into practical application. It connects knowledge to action and turns information into wisdom. A mind that is fed but not exercised or reflected upon is like fertile soil left untended. It has potential but will not bear fruit. When you feed your mind daily and combine it with reflection, You transform knowledge into insight and insight into action, creating momentum for your growth and success. Feeding your mind also opens the door to creativity and innovation. Exposure to new perspectives, stories, and ideas ignites imagination. It encourages you to think differently, to dream boldly, and to take actions that others may dismiss as impossible. The more you expose yourself to wisdom and inspiration, the more your mind connects seemingly unrelated ideas in unique ways, producing breakthroughs in problem-solving strategy and personal expression. Daily learning becomes a wellspring of ideas that shapes not only your own life, but also influences those around you positively. Perhaps most importantly, feeding your mind daily strengthens your belief in your potential. Knowledge inspires confidence. Wisdom fosters courage. Exposure to great ideas and examples of success remind you that transformation is possible. The mind, when nurtured, develops the resilience to face challenges, the clarity to pursue purpose, and the vision to imagine a future beyond current circumstances. Every book read, every lesson learned, every insight applied adds to the architecture of a life designed intentionally, a life of meaning, impact, and fulfillment. The habit of feeding your mind daily is a declaration that you refuse to settle for mediocrity. It is the conscious choice to invest in yourself, to grow beyond limitations, and to step into the fullness of your potential. Small, consistent actions taken to nourish your mind will compound into extraordinary results. You are not defined by where you start, but by what you choose to absorb, learn, and apply every single day. When you commit to this habit, you create a life in which opportunity meets preparation, wisdom meets action, and potential meets reality. Feeding your mind daily is not just a habit. It is a lifestyle that transforms ordinary lives into extraordinary testimonies. The question is simple. Will you choose to feed your mind today and every day so that the life you dream of becomes the life you live? There's immense power in knowing exactly where you are going. Life becomes easier, clearer, and more purposeful when your actions are aligned with a vision, when each step is intentional rather than random. Too many people drift through life reacting to circumstances, letting the world dictate their priorities and wondering why their dreams remain out of reach. The difference between a life of confusion and a life of fulfillment is the simple, transformative habit of setting clear intentions and goals. Goals are not just about achievement, they are about direction. They provide a compass that guides your choices, your energy, and your focus. Every successful person, every individual who has created meaningful impact has embraced this principle. They have defined what they want and why they want it. And that clarity fuels every decision, every action, and every effort. Setting clear intentions begins with understanding yourself, your values, your desires, your purpose. Without clarity about who you are and what matters to you, goals can feel hollow and effort can feel exhausting. But when you take the time to reflect, to assess your strengths, weaknesses, passions, and priorities, you create a framework for meaningful action. Intentions are like seeds planted in fertile soil. They need purpose, direction, and care to grow. When your goals align with your values, you are not simply chasing success. You are building a life that resonates with authenticity, fulfillment, and impact. The act of setting goals transforms uncertainty into clarity and overwhelm into focus. It is not just about writing down dreams. It is about creating a roadmap for your life. The habit of setting intentions daily is just as important as long-term goals. Each morning, as you plan your day, ask yourself, what is my focus today? What actions will bring me closer to my larger vision? What attitude, mindset, or choice will shape the outcomes of my day? When you make a habit of clarifying your intentions, every morning you step into the day with purpose and control rather than drifting passively. Small intentional actions performed consistently have a compounding effect, leading to results far greater than sporadic effort. The mind naturally responds to clear direction. When your goals are defined, distractions lose their power, procrastination becomes easier to overcome, and your energy is concentrated on what truly matters. Goals are not meant to be vague wishes. They are meant to be specific, measurable, and actionable. A goal without clarity is like a ship without a rudder. You may move, but you will not reach your destination efficiently, if at all. Specific goals provide clarity, and measurable milestones give you feedback on progress. This habit creates accountability and motivation. Each small win along the way reinforces your belief in your ability to achieve more, creating momentum that carries you forward. It is in the accumulation of these small intentional steps that the extraordinary life you desire begins to take shape. Goals are not distant dreams. They are practical markers guiding daily action toward long-term transformation. The act of setting intentions also cultivates resilience. Life is unpredictable, and obstacles are inevitable. Yet, when you know your destination and understand why it matters, setbacks lose their power to derail you. You approach challenges not as permanent roadblocks, but as lessons, adjustments, and opportunities to grow stronger. Clarity of intention gives you the ability to persevere when circumstances are difficult, to maintain focus when distractions arise, and to remain motivated when progress feels so Goals anchor you. They remind you why you started and give you courage to continue when the journey seems overwhelming. Setting clear intentions also strengthens decision-making. Every day, you are faced with countless choices, some trivial, some life-changing. Without clear goals, it is easy to get distracted, to waste energy on things that do not serve your vision, or to feel confused about which path to take. But when you are guided by defined intentions, decisions become easier. You can quickly assess whether a choice aligns with your values and contributes to your progress. This clarity eliminates hesitation and reduces wasted effort, allowing you to move forward with confidence. Your life becomes a series of aligned actions rather than random reactions, and the results reflect the intentionality behind every step. The spiritual and emotional dimension of setting intentions is just as significant. Goals give life meaning and purpose. They provide hope in difficult times, a sense of direction when circumstances are confusing, and a source of fulfillment as milestones are achieved. Intentions connect your actions to a larger purpose, allowing you to live with conviction and passion. This habit fosters discipline, focus, and motivation while reinforcing belief in your potential. Every goal achieved strengthens confidence and self-respect, creating a cycle of growth that propels you forward. Moreover, clarity of intention inspires creativity and vision. When your mind is focused on meaningful objectives, it naturally begins to generate solutions, explore possibilities, and innovate ways to achieve results. Obstacles become challenges to overcome rather than dead-end DS. Opportunities become visible rather than hidden. The habit of setting clear intentions expands your thinking and cultivates a proactive mindset. You stop waiting for life to happen to you and start shaping the life you desire. In the end, setting clear intentions and goals is not just a habit. It is a lifestyle of intentional living. It is a conscious choice to move through life with purpose, focus, and clarity. It transforms dreams into actionable steps, confusion into direction, and potential into achievement. Every step you take toward your goals is a declaration that you are in control of your destiny. It allows you to navigate life with confidence, overcome obstacles with resilience, and create results that reflect your values and vision. The power of this habit lies not in its complexity, but in its consistency. Daily commitment to clarifying intentions, defining goals, and acting upon them builds momentum that compounds into life-altering results. If you desire a life of meaning, impact, and fulfillment, it begins with the habit of clarity. Define what matters, set specific goals, and take intentional action each day. Your dreams are not distant fantasies. They are achievable realities when guided by purpose. The small steps you take consistently, fueled by clear intentions and actionable goals, will transform your life beyond imagination. Today, decide to live with direction. Decide that your actions will no longer be random, but intentional. Decide that your life will be shaped by clarity, focus, and purpose. In doing so, you create a life that is not only successful, but extraordinary in every sense. Your body is the most incredible gift you have, yet so often it is treated as if it is expendable, secondary, or unimportant. It is the vessel through which you experience life, the instrument through which your mind, spirit, and potential manifest. To neglect your body is to limit every other part of yourself. Every thought, every dream, every ambition relies on your physical strength, energy, and vitality. Yet in our fast-paced world, it is easy to ignore the signals of fatigue, stiffness, and imbalance, convincing ourselves that there will always be tomorrow to care for our health. The truth is, there is no tomorrow for the foundation of life itself. The small daily habit of caring for your body through movement is transformative. It is not about extreme workouts or chasing impossible ideals. It is about consistency, intentionality, and respect for the vessel that carries you through every moment. Movement is life. The simple act of walking, stretching, or engaging in any physical activity is a statement of self-respect and a declaration that you value the life you have been given. Every step you take, every stretch you perform, every drop of sweat released is an investment in your energy, clarity, and endurance. When your body functions optimally, your mind thinks more clearly, your emotions are more stable, and your spirit feels energized. Neglect your body, and every other part of your life suffers. Your productivity decreases, your focus diminishes, and your motivation falters. Caring for your body is not a luxury. It is a requirement for living fully, for showing up as the best version of yourself in every area of life. Small daily movements compound over time. You do not need to dedicate hours in a gym or engage in extreme routines to see profound results. 15 minutes of walking, a few minutes of stretching, or simple exercises like push-ups or squats consistently performed every day will strengthen your body, improve circulation, and increase energy levels. The power of this habit lies in its consistency. Just as a single raindrop may seem insignificant, thousands of drops over time carve rivers through stone. Daily movement creates resilience, builds strength, and generates vitality that supports everything else in your life. It creates a feedback loop. As your body becomes stronger, your mind feels sharper, your mood elevates, and your confidence grows. Movement is not only physical, it is mental, emotional, and spiritual. Caring for your body through movement also cultivates discipline. Our modern world offers endless distractions and excuses to remain sedentary, to prioritize convenience over well-being. Yet, every time you choose to move, to exercise, to challenge your body, even in small ways, you are training yourself in the art of discipline. This discipline spills into other areas of life: the perseverance to reach goals, the focus to complete tasks, the resilience to overcome obstacles. Your body becomes a reflection of your commitment to yourself and your future. The simple choice to move day after day is an act of empowerment. It communicates to yourself and to the world that you are serious about living with strength, vitality, and purpose. Movement is also intimately tied to mental clarity and emotional stability. Exercise releases endorphins, reduces stress, and improves mood. When your body is active, your mind feels more alert, creative, and capable. The tense ion and anxiety that build up from daily pressures can be released through movement, creating space for calm, focus, and clarity. Even a short walk in the morning or evening can reset your mind, refresh your perspective, and prepare you to face challenges with greater confidence. Your body and mind are inseparable. Nurturing one strengthens the other. By making movement a daily habit, you create a foundation for mental resilience, emotional balance, and spiritual focus. Caring for your body also increases your longevity and quality of life. Every healthy choice, every step taken, every small workout performed is an investment in the years ahead. A life lived with vitality allows you to pursue dreams longer, enjoy relationships more fully, and impact the world more profoundly. It is easy to take your health for granted when you are young, but the consequences of neglect accumulate silently over time. By moving consistently, you honor the gift of life, maximize your potential, and ensure that you have the energy to live purposefully in every season. Movement also fosters confidence and self-respect. When you see your body responding to care, when you gain strength, flexibility, or endurance, you are reminded of your own capability. This physical empowerment translates into emotional and spiritual confidence. You begin to see that you can overcome challenges, push past limits, and achieve more than you thought possible. Each small action becomes a testament to the fact that consistent care and effort produce results. Just as nurturing a garden daily yields flowers and fruits over time, nurturing your body produces energy, vitality, and the freedom to fully engage with life. Finally, movement connects you with your body in a profound, intimate way. Many people live disconnected from their physical selves, unaware of the signals, the needs, and the potential held within their own bodies. Through movement, you become attuned to your strength, your flexibility, and your endurance. You learn to listen, to respect, and to honor the vessel that carries your mind, spirit, and purpose. Movement is not just exercise, it is communion with the gift of life, a daily reminder that your body is sacred and deserving of care, attention, and love. The habit of caring for your body through movement is simple but life-altering. It is a choice made daily, consistently, and intentionally. Each small step, stretch, or workout contributes to energy, clarity, resilience, confidence, and overall well-being. It strengthens the mind, uplifts the spirit, and prepares you to live fully, courageously, and purposefully. This habit is not a temporary pursuit, but a lifelong commitment. It is the foundation on which everything else in your life rests. Every ambition, every relationship, every dream becomes easier to pursue when your body is strong, energized, and healthy. Movement is life, and by embracing it daily, you embrace the full potential of the life you were created to live. Life moves at an incredible pace, faster than most of us realize. Days blur into weeks, weeks into months, and before we know it, years have passed. We find ourselves reacting to circumstances, juggling responsibilities, and chasing goals without ever pausing to ask, am I where I want to be? Am I living intentionally? Am I aligned with my purpose? This is why cultivating mindfulness and reflection is one of the most transformative habits you can develop. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present, of experiencing each moment with clarity and awareness. Reflection is the act of looking inward, reviewing your actions, choices, and experiences with honesty and intentionality. Together, they create a habit that strengthens your mind, nurtures your soul, and guides your life with purpose. Mindfulness begins with a simple but profound choice to pay attention. It is easy to move through life on autopilot, thinking about the past, worrying about the future, or merely reacting to whatever comes your way. Yet, when you practice mindfulness, you step into the present. You notice your thoughts, your emotions, and your surroundings without judgment. You listen not just to others, but to yourself. In those moments of presence, clarity emerges, decisions become wiser, interactions become more meaningful, and life begins to feel less chaotic. Mindfulness trains your mind to focus on what matters, to recognize opportunities, and to respond rather than react. It gives you control over your energy, your attention, and ultimately your destiny. Reflection amplifies the power of mindfulness. It is the habit of pausing to evaluate your actions, your progress, and your choices. Reflection allows you to learn from mistakes without being consumed by regret. It helps you celebrate successes without becoming arrogant or complacent. When you take time to consider where you are and where you want to go, your decisions become aligned with your values and long-term vision. Reflection fosters growth because it turns experiences, both good and bad, into lessons. Each moment becomes an opportunity for learning, improvement, and self-discovery. Over time, reflection cultivates wisdom, strengthens character, and empowers you to live intentionally rather than by default. The practice of mindfulness and reflection also nurtures emotional resilience. Life is unpredictable, and challenges are inevitable. Without awareness and perspective, it is easy to be swept away by stress, frustration, or fear. But when you cultivate these habits, you create space between stimulus and response. You learn to observe your emotions, understand their source, and choose how to respond rather than being ruled by them. This habit reduces impulsive reactions, improves relationships, and fosters inner peace. Emotional resilience is not the absence of difficulty. It is the ability to navigate life with clarity and calm. And mindfulness and reflection are the keys to developing it. Mindfulness and reflection are also deeply connected to your spiritual well-being. When you pause to observe and evaluate your life, you become aware of your values, your purpose, and your connection to something greater than yourself. These practices create space to pray, meditate, or simply listen to the voice of your inner guidance. In a world full of noise and distraction, mindfulness allows you to tune into what truly matters, and reflection ensures that your actions align with your beliefs. Together, they cultivate a life of integrity, meaning, and intention. The spiritual growth that comes from these habits enhances every other area of life, from relationships to career, health to creativity. The habit of mindfulness and reflection also sharpens us. Our attention is a limited resource, and where it goes determines what we create in life. When you practice mindfulness, you learn to direct your focus intentionally. When you practice reflection, you identify distractions, recognize patterns, and clarify priorities. This combination trains your mind to concentrate on what truly matters and to act with purpose. Productivity is no longer about doing more. It becomes about doing what is meaningful. what aligns with your vision, and what moves you closer to your goals. Your energy becomes concentrated rather than scattered, and your results become exponentially greater. Even small daily practices of mindfulness and reflection yield profound effects. Taking 5 minutes each morning to breathe consciously, notice your surroundings, or set your intentions for the day strengthens your awareness. Spending a few minutes each evening reviewing your day, considering what went well, what could improve, and what lessons were learned cultivates wisdom. These small acts, repeated consistently, compound over time. Your mind becomes calmer, sharper, and more resilient. Your actions become intentional, and your life becomes purposeful. The habit of pausing to observe and reflect transforms ordinary routines into meaningful practices that shape character and destiny. Mindfulness and reflection also enhance relationships. When you are fully present, you listen more deeply, respond more thoughtfully, and connect more authentically. Reflection allows you to understand your impact on others, to recognize patterns in communication, and to grow in empathy and compassion. The more intentional you become in your interactions, the more fulfilling and productive your relationships become. People are drawn to those who are present, thoughtful, and aware, and the habit of mindfulness creates exactly that presence. Ultimately, cultivating mindfulness and reflection is not just a habit, it is a way of life. It is the conscious decision to slow down in a world that constantly pushes us forward, to observe in a world full of noise, and to understand ourselves in a world full of distractions. These practices give you control over your mind, clarity in your decisions, resilience in your emotions, and alignment with your purpose. They transform ordinary living into extraordinary living. Life does not need to be lived in haste or confusion. By committing to mindfulness and reflection, you reclaim your time, your focus, and your potential. You create a life that is intentional, meaningful, and empowered. Every moment becomes an opportunity for growth. Every challenge becomes a lesson, and every action becomes aligned with your highest purpose. Mindfulness and reflection are not practices for tomorrow. They are habits for today. Begin now, even in small ways, and watch as your life transforms. In the stillness of awareness and the clarity of reflection, you find strength, wisdom, and peace. Your journey becomes intentional. Your choices become aligned, and your life begins to unfold with purpose, direction, and fulfillment. The habit of mindfulness and reflection is the foundation upon which all other transformations are built. Embrace it, practice it, and let it guide you to a life of true meaning and extraordinary impact. There is incredible power in the words we speak and the actions we take toward others. Our S, peach, and our generosity are two of the most influential forces we possess, shaping not only our own lives, but also the lives of those around us. Too often, we underestimate the impact of a kind word, a thoughtful action, or a simple expression of encouragement. Yet, these small choices create ripples that can change circumstances, open doors, and transform relationships. Practicing generosity and speaking positively are habits that, when cultivated consistently, elevate every aspect of your life. They are not just about helping others. They are about creating a life of abundance, influence, and fulfillment. Generosity begins with recognizing that what you have, whether it is time, resources, knowledge, or attention, is not solely for yourself. It is meant to flow outward. Every act of giving, no matter how small, sends a powerful message to your mind, heart, and spirit. You are a contributor, not just a receiver, and your life has the capacity to create impact. Generosity does not require grand gestures or monumental sacrifices. It can be as simple as offering a helping hand to someone in need, sharing a word of encouragement, or giving your undivided attention to a friend. These acts, repeated daily, develop a mindset of abundance rather than scarcity, a belief that there is enough to give and enough to receive. The habit of giving shapes your character, aligns your life with purpose, and fosters a sense of connection that nothing else can replicate. Positive speech is the companion to generosity. Words are powerful. They shape thoughts, influence emotions, and build or destroy relationships. Every day we have countless opportunities to speak either life or negativity into the world. Complaints, criticism, gossip, and harsh words are easy to fall into, but they diminish both the speaker and the listener. Conversely, words of encouragement, gratitude, affirmation, and kindness uplift and inspire. Positive speech is not about empty flattery. It is about intentionally choosing language that empowers, motivates, and fosters growth. When you speak life into situations and people, you create an atmosphere where possibilities can flourish. Your words become seeds, planting hope, confidence, and motivation in the hearts of others, which inevitably returns to enrich your own life. Generosity and positive speech are habits that reinforce each other. When you give freely, your words naturally reflect encouragement and kindness. When you speak positively, your generosity becomes authentic and impactful. Together, they cultivate relationships, strengthen communities, and enhance your personal and professional life. The practice of these habits also reshapes your internal world. A generous heart and positive speech create a mindset of abundance, gratitude, and hope. You stop focusing solely on what you lack and begin to notice the opportunities to contribute, to uplift, and to make a difference. This perspective transforms ordinary interactions into meaningful connections and challenges into chances to serve and inspire. The act of giving also creates a ripple effect of blessings. What you put out into the world rarely returns empty-handed. Generosity opens doors, creates alliances, and strengthens trust. When people experience your kindness, they are more likely to extend kindness in return. Even acts that seem insignificant can have profound consequences. A small donation, a helping hand, a word of encouragement, or a smile can shift the trajectory of someone's day or even their life. This principle applies not only outwardly, but inwardly as well. Generosity trains your heart to see abundance, instills humility, and cultivates empathy. It is a practice that aligns your mind, body, and spirit with the natural law of giving and receiving. Positive speech likewise shapes your internal landscape. The language you use affects your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. Speaking negatively, even about yourself, creates limitation, doubt, and fear. Speaking positively builds confidence, courage, and possibility. When you practice affirming words, encouragement, and gratitude consistently, your mind begins to adopt the same perspective. You start seeing challenges as opportunities, setbacks as lessons, and people as collaborators rather than adversaries. The habit of speaking life creates a feedback loop that strengthens both your character and your environment. The words you choose influence how you feel, how others respond, and ultimately how your life unfolds. Practicing generosity and positive speech daily requires intentionality. It is easy to overlook small opportunities to give or to speak kindly, especially when life is busy or stressful. Yet, the smallest acts often carry the greatest weight. Holding the door open, complimenting a coworker, helping a stranger, or sharing a thoughtful insight can make a difference far beyond what you realize. Over time, these consistent choices compound, transforming your life into one marked by connection, influence, and joy. The habit is less about perfection and more about persistence, choosing daily to speak life and give freely, even when it is inconvenient, unnoticed, or challenging. There is also a profound spiritual and emotional component to these habits. Generosity connects you to others, strengthens your sense of purpose, and fosters humility. Positive speech nurtures hope, joy, and empowerment. Together, they align your life with principles of love, service, and integrity. They create a rhythm of living that benefits not only yourself, but also everyone you encounter. Over time, these practices elevate your life in ways that no material wealth or achievement can match. Your influence grows, your relationships deepen, and your sense of fulfillment expands exponentially. Ultimately, practicing generosity and positive speech is not just about changing your circumstances. It is about transforming yourself. You become someone who inspires, uplifts, and leaves a lasting impact. Your life becomes a testimony of what intentional giving and uplifting words can accomplish. These habits reinforce a mindset of abundance, faith, and resilience, equipping you to face challenges with grace. Connect with others authentically and live purposefully. Every small act of generosity, every word of encouragement contributes to a life that is extraordinary, meaningful, and impactful. By embracing these habits consistently, you not only change the world around you, you change the world within you. Life is a marathon, not a sprint. And the most remarkable transformations come not from bursts of effort, but from consistent, deliberate action over time. Success, fulfillment, and growth are rarely accidental. They are the result of small, persistent steps taken with faith and resilience. Consistency is the bridge between goals and results. It is the daily commitment to show up, to do the work, and to persevere even when progress feels invisible. Those who embrace consistency understand that greatness is rarely achieved overnight. It is cultivated in the quiet, disciplined repetition of positive habits, the choices made every day that others may overlook or neglect. Faith is the engine that drives consistency. Faith is the belief that your efforts matter, even when the outcome is uncertain. It is the trust that every small step compounds into meaningful change and that your commitment aligns with a higher purpose. Without faith, consistency can feel mechanical, empty, or exhausting. With faith, each act becomes infused with meaning, each challenge becomes a test of strength, and each obstacle becomes an opportunity to grow. Faith allows you to keep moving when the path is unclear, to maintain effort when results are delayed, and to hold on to hope when circumstances seem discouraging. It transforms ordinary action into extraordinary progress and ordinary persistence into miraculous results. Resilience is the armor that protects your consistency and faith. Life will always present difficulties, setbacks, and moments that test your resolve. The storms of disappointment, failure, and unexpected challenges are inevitable, but resilience allows you to absorb these blows without losing direction, to adapt without giving up, and to emerge stronger from adversity. It is the habit of refusing to be defeated, of recognizing that failure is not the opposite of success, but a stepping stone toward it. Resilience strengthens character, builds courage, and ensures that temporary hardships do not become permanent setbacks. When you combine resilience with faith and consistency, you create a formula for unstoppable growth and transformation. Consistency, faith, and resilience are intertwined. Consistency without faith may lead to burnout or frustration when results are delayed. Faith without consistency may remain theoretical, never manifesting in tangible progress. Resilience without either may feel like mere survival rather than progress toward purpose. Together, these habits create momentum. They transform small actions into major achievements, struggles into learning opportunities, and dreams into reality. They allow you to move forward steadily, even in the face of obstacles, doubt, or fear. They create a rhythm of life in which growth, success, and fulfillment are not just possible, but inevitable. The beauty of these habits is that they compound over time. A single day of consistent effort may seem inconsequential, but repeated daily, the effects multiply. Small victories accumulate, skills improve, confidence grows, and progress becomes visible. Faith sustains you when motivation wanes, and resilience carries you through challenges that might otherwise halt your journey. Over months and years, the combination of these habits produces results far beyond what could be achieved through sporadic effort or fleeting inspiration. They turn ordinary individuals into extraordinary achievers and ordinary lives into remarkable testimonies of perseverance and purpose. Consistency also develops discipline and self-mastery. The daily choice to act in alignment with your goals, to maintain habits, and to follow through builds an internal strength that cannot be shaken by circumstance. Faith reinforces this discipline, reminding you that your work is meaningful and that your efforts align with a greater plan. Resilience ensures that setbacks do not derail your progress. Together, they form a trinity of habits that protect you from discouragement, impulsivity, and stagnation. They allow you to navigate life intentionally, to stay committed to your vision, and to embrace challenges as opportunities to grow rather than threats to your progress. The power of embracing these three habits extends beyond personal achievement. It shapes the impact you have on others. When people witness consistency, faith, and resilience in action, it inspires them to rise above their own limitations. Your life becomes a model of perseverance, hope, and integrity. You influence your family, your community, and your sphere of influence simply by demonstrating what is possible when one commits fully to the journey of growth and transformation. The ripple effect of your consistent, faithful, and resilient efforts reaches far beyond what you can imagine, see. Moreover, Embracing consistency, faith, and resilience transforms your mindset. You begin to view challenges not as obstacles, but as lessons, failures not as endpoints, but as stepping stones, and time not as a constraint, but as an ally. You develop patience, endurance, and a long-term perspective. This mindset allows you to navigate the ups and downs of life with calm, confidence, and purpose. It empowers you to focus on what you can control, release what you cannot, and keep moving forward regardless of circumstances. Every great life is built on this foundation. The dreams you hold, the purpose you pursue, and the impact you desire are all realized through the small, consistent steps taken in faith, supported by resilience in the face of adversity. The habit of embracing consistency, faith, and resilience is not about perfection. It is about perseverance. It is about showing up, giving your best, and refusing to quit. Even when the journey is long and the results are delayed, it is about believing in yourself, trusting the process, and having the courage to keep moving forward. When you commit to these habits, your life becomes unstoppable, and the extraordinary becomes inevitable. Thank you for being part of this journey today. If these small habits, owning your mornings, practicing gratitude, feeding your mind, setting intentions, caring for your body, cultivating mindfulness, practicing generosity, and embracing consistency, faith, and resilience resonated with you, commit to applying them daily. Transformation does not happen overnight, but with persistence, faith, and intentional action, your life can change forever. If this message inspired you, subscribe, stay connected, and continue growing with us. Share it with someone who needs encouragement today. And remember, small habits practiced consistently have the power to create extraordinary lives.